hypothetically, let's say you have a box. Let's say this box is about your height and you fit comfortably in it. Now let's say you were to go outside during a rainstorm, let the water collect. Now after 4 to 5 hours, you would expect to have about an inch collected, so up to my white part of my shoes. Now let's say you were to have the same box and go outside during Hurricane Harvey. The water would be up to your nose. Hurricane Harvey that hit Houston on August 25th was massive. 27 trillion gallons of water fell in the city, and basically that's 2.5 times more than what San Luis Obispo gets. To try to put it into perspective, the amount of water, according to the Washington Post, the volume of water would be enough to cover the entire continental United States with 0.3 inches of water, or about 5 inches. 5 high, but to give you a monetary estimate, it would cost about 80 to 180 billion. Now, flooding isn't new to Houston. Houston historically floods, but due to global warming, it has only gotten worse. And unchecked growth has only exacerbated the issue. So, climate change leads to bigger storms, if you didn't know. And a hot Earth makes hot oceans, which leads to more evaporation, and which leads more water for a hurricane to collect. So a medium-sized hurricane becomes a large hurricane. A large hurricane becomes massive. So not only are these, basically it becomes stronger and more frequent, the natural disasters. According to an NBC article by Jay Shoup, there have been 3 quote-unquote once in 500-year storms that have hit Houston in the last 3 years. So, what has Houston done to prepare? They've actually done a lot, but none of it has been effective. According to the American Society of Civil Engineers, they have spent $1.5 billion in widening the bayous and retention ponds, but these have done historically little in a once per lifetime storm, because for reasons I'll get to later, but just putting your head on managed growth. According to the United States Census, Houston is the fastest growing metropolitan area. It has grown from 5.9 million in 2010 to 6.8 in as of July 2016. So this is roughly the size of Seattle or the entire state of Alaska moving to Houston in a 6-year time. So this unregulated development has happened because of Houston's laissez-faire policy when it comes to development. They have no general plan or zoning ordinances, so this leads to massive sprawl. According to the American Planning Association, they have a less average density than here in San Luis Obispo. So this covers land. This covers a lot of land, and it covers land that used to absorb and guide rain to the ocean. Houston is built on wetlands. Rain falls on the wetlands and prairies. Rain falls on the prairies, which have a clay soil. Clay is an absorbent. They make pots out of it. So water flows along these floodplains, which act like chutes into wetlands and eventually the ocean. The wetlands mitigate the flooding. They act like sponges. They have about 10 feet of roots, and so there isn't a massive amount of water that comes when they're there. But in recent years, the marshes have been paved over. The green is marshes that are now, and the pink is the marshes that have been built over from the span of 2001 to 2010. So this is about 38,000 acres, or 3/4 of all marshes in Houston have been built over and been replaced with impenetrable asphalt, which just leads to accumulation in these depressions. So while these marshes are being developed, so too are the floodplains. When you build, you elevate the land. So basically, when you build on a floodplain, you force the water to go into new places that it would not normally go. The red, dark red, is places that are not in a floodplain, have never seen flooding before, while the pink are like houses and stuff that are in floodplains, have been expected to flood. So, flooding in Harvey that happened didn't happen on these floodplains. Most damage occurred in the areas which are red, which were not insured nor prepared as they didn't expect. So, basically, building on a floodplain is dangerous as it makes the flow of water unpredictable as well. But property damage isn't the only. A lot of the oil and chemical processing plants in the nation are located in the Houston metropolitan area. So if there was a huge storm, the damage would be catastrophic, as all the oil and chemicals would get into the soil. According to a Time article, this would cause unprecedented damage to both the environment and human health. So, in a perfect world, all houses on floodplains would be destroyed. We would restore the wetlands and we would curb this growth. Okay, according to the Harris County Flood District, the restoration of an acre of wetlands would offset the flooding of 2 acres of housing. But, we're dealing with Texas. The government there believes they can engineer their way out of it. On October 15th, Senator Ted Cruz requested $10 billion to fund the U.S. Army Corps and to fix the quote-unquote outdated infrastructure. They basically ignored the plethora of studies pointing to unregulated growth as the issue, and instead focused on infrastructure. So, in all, the future of Houston is, Harvey does not look like an isolated event, and unfortunately, it will be the first of a long list of catastrophic events that will hit Houston. And